Hi everyone, welcome back to lesson 3. Today we are looking at sharing equally. So another quick roundup of our vocab. So sharing means making into equal groups. Total means the whole number or how many there are altogether. And equal means the same number in each group. Don't forget to keep an eye out for my little friend Sophia. Now, here's our example question. We'll do this one all together. So yesterday we were looking at making groups. Today we're looking at sharing between groups. So all that means is here we're sharing 4 counters between 2 equal groups. That means we have 4 counters and we're going to share them. So we'll start with our first counter. I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to draw it in our first group. Our second counter, cross it out. Now I'm not going to draw it in the same circle. I'm going to make sure that I go from circle 1 to circle 2, circle 1, circle 2. Make sure I keep changing circles. Take my third counter, I'm going to draw it here, and then I'll take my fourth counter and I'll draw it here. So let's have a look at our questions. There are all together. Well, all together I had how many? That's right, I had 4. There are groups in total. So I have one group here and I have my second group here. So I have 2 groups. There are in each group. Well, I'll have a look in my group. There's 1 counter, 2 counters. So in each group there are 2 counters. Very good. So for these questions we need to know the total, how many groups, and how many counters in each group. What you can do at home is if you have counters, you can put them into the groups yourself to make it a bit easier. Otherwise, you can have a look at the video and you can put the counters into the groups on the video by drawing the circles. So let's have a look at question number 1. Question number 1, share 10 counters between 2 equal groups. So if you have counters, I want you to draw 2 circles and I want you to share the 10 counters into these 2 equal groups. Remember, you have to go group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2. You don't put lots of them in group 1 and then lots of them in group 2, because we need to make sure that whatever we put in group 1, we also put in group 2, because they have to be equal. So have a look, see if you can share 10 counters between 2 equal groups and then answer the questions at the bottom. There are all together, so how many counters were there all together? There are groups in total. How many groups in total? We should all know these because these are part of the question. And then the last question, there are in each group. How many did you put in each group? Pause the video while you finish this question. Question 2. Share 15 counters between 5 equal groups. So this time I want you to draw 5 circles and I want you to share the counters, 15 counters, in between these 5 equal groups. Now when you're doing your work that you're going to put on Dojo, you don't need to show me the circles and the counters. You only need to write the questions. The counters and the circles is just for you to do to help you get the answer. So let's have a look at the questions. There are all together. So how many counters did we use all together? There are groups in total. How many groups do we have? That's in the question as well. And there are in each group. How many are in each group? Pause the video now while you find the answer. Question 3. Share 10 counters between 5 equal groups. So take 10 counters, draw 5 circles, and share the counters out. Remember, this part you do not need to do on your paper with your answers. This is just for you to do to help you. Have a look at the questions at the bottom. There are altogether. How many counters are there altogether? There are groups in total. How many groups? Both of those answers are in the question at the top. And the last question, there are in each group. When you shared them out, how many were in each group? Question 4. Share 20 counters between 10 equal groups. So if you have 10 circles and 20 counters, how many counters will go in each circle? Remember, 10 equal groups, we have to put one counter in group number 1, then group number 2, then group number 3, then group number 4, all the way to group number 10. And then if we have counters left, we start again. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, Group 5, Group 6, Group 7, Group 8, Group 9, and Group 10. When you're finished, answer the questions at the bottom. There are altogether. There are groups in total. There are in each group. Pause the video now while you answer the questions. Question 5. Share 30 counters between 10 equal groups. So you will have 30 counters and 10 circles for your groups. Share the counters so that each group has the same number. Let's answer the questions. There are altogether. There are groups in total. There are in each group. Pause the video while you finish your questions. Okay, question 6. Shay is trying to share lemons equally between 2 groups. So he has group 1 and he has group 2. Has Shay shared them into 2 equal groups? Explain how you know. So have a look and see, has he done it correctly or has he made a mistake? And then tell me why you know. Pause the video now while you answer question 6. Our last question today is question 7. How could you make these groups equal? So we have group 1 and we have group 2. Now these groups are not equal. Group 1 has how many ice creams? That's right, 5. And group 2 has how many ice creams? That's right, 3. They are not equal groups. What would we need to do to make them equal? Would we have to add something? Would we have to take away something? You tell me for question 7. When you're finished, I'd like you to check your work, make sure your numbers are all the correct way around, take a picture and upload it onto Class Dojo. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye everyone!